Yeah, I think getting back to your point, Lowell, of objectivity, yeah, it's a lofty goal, but it's an ideal, and I think it's always been part of the goal and the lexicon of American journalism. It starts with Jefferson. I mean, the point was when Jefferson was making his argument about one man, one vote at that time, and the Federalists who were like, no, we can't do that.
He had a unique definition of man.
We can't do that. No, Jefferson does, not me.
I know, that's what I said.
Right,
he
yeah,
had a
right.
unique definition
Exactly.
of man, which was accepted then, and we would, so,
Right.
so
But
even
the
at
point,
the time there, people were looking the other way.
The point is, it was one person, one vote. Ideally, they wanted to have a full democracy. And part of that was having an informed citizenry. And, you know, Madison and one of the other guys said, no, we can't do that because people will fall for the first, you know, despot who comes along and promises them a tax break. So money was never really the ideal when it came to journalism. I mean, the first real broadcast news operation that made money was 60 Minutes. And then, you know, the CBS executives saw that and everybody else saw that and said, hey, we could make money out of this. And then all of a sudden, you know, the goals of objectivity, really, that wasn't paramount anymore.
So let's fast forward to where we are today, and with your own experience, I think part of what people would be very interested in hearing about is when, as a journalist, how do you discern truth? And is there a moment, can you think of a moment where you were unsure of what truth was for the purposes of reporting, and how did you navigate that? How did you end up reporting the story?
Well,
so let's start with you, Scott.
I never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
I'm afraid that's what a lot of people probably think. You know?
It's slippery. It's hard to tell the truth. I mean, you try to bombard yourself with so much information, and that hopefully you will have an epiphany, a moment of, oh yes, this is. When I was doing my series on sex slavery, I interviewed this woman. Her story was unbelievably compelling, and she talked about how she was kidnapped and raped and put into this whole, you know, subculture of walking the streets in Oakland and San Francisco. And when I looked into her eyes, and she was telling me about how this guy took her out in the alley and raped her and said that he was going to kill her kid, and that if she wasn't, you know, going to be part of this life, she was in danger. I believed her. I didn't, you know, I talked to the prosecuting attorney, I talked to her attorney, I talked to the DA, and they were like, oh, well, you know, there wasn't a good case. But it's instinctual on a lot of levels, I think, knowing the truth. But you also have to do your homework. You also have to get in there and in the trenches, dig and talk to a lot of people and do a lot of research. I think, and that's also a responsibility of the citizenry, is to not just watch TV and try to get your truth from that or one radio broadcast. You have to read magazines. You have to listen to NPR or watch PBS and maybe tune in Fox News just to get the other perspective of the other side. And the truth lies somewhere in there. And I think it comes out eventually.